முடிச்சதுக்கப்புறம் I'll just close this background, sir. You can present your screen afterwards.
Okay.
Okay. Yes, sir. Good afternoon, everyone present here. It is a good day to have this session on skill enhancement program for the students. Day 4 on limelights on career opportunities. And we have here today Mr. D. Ramakrishna, Assistant Professor of our department, is going to explain you the career opportunities as a geotechnical specialist. And before starting, I would like to pay some tribute to the doctors who have paid so much of attention to each and everyone during this pandemic, as it is being the International Doctors Day. So I want everyone to keep silence, observe silence for a minute, and let us show our respect towards the doctors and the frontliners on this special occasion. I request everyone to observe silence for a minute. Thank you, everyone. So now I call upon Dr. S. Arivaragan, Head Civil Engineering Department, to welcome the gathering. So please.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, madam. Respected Honorable President of our university. Good afternoon to all. Respected our faculty members for joining this wonderful session of career opportunity for our students. Today is one of the I welcome all the students to joining as a career opportunity program series day 4. First, I appreciate our this event coordinator Gomadi madam, Gomadi Nagajodi madam, to organize this event very successful manner for last 2 months. Today there is a 4th day of this series. It is called as Limelight on Career Opportunities. Today program is Career Opportunity as a Geotechnical Specialist. This is one of the best topic today sir delivered. I welcome our today resource person Dr. Ramakrishna sir. Sir is our professor of our civil engineering department. I welcome you, sir, giving a very brief discussion and a webinar lecture for our students in the area of geotechnical. So geotechnical area is one of the vast area. So now at present, this is needed for our civil engineering works. Last 5 years back, we are focusing only on the structural and construction management oriented works only. After some incidents happen, we are going to focus the geotechnical works also. At present, as Chennai Corporation, focus on the geotechnical works, so that geotechnical works specially focused only for the geotechnical persons only. We have to get certificate from the geotechnical persons only. Then only we have to start for the construction works. First, we have to get the concurrence and approval from the geotechnical persons about the structure of the earth. After that, only we have to go for the starting our structural engineering and construction works. So this is one of the important topic at present. So I request all the students kindly observe what the sir told, and you have to use for your career. So I welcome you, sir, and I request all the students to observe, make in silent. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. Thank you, sir. Before I hand over the session to Mr. D. Ramakrishna, I call upon Ms. Priyadarshini, Assistant Professor, Department of Civil Engineering, to introduce the speaker to us. Ma'am, please.
Thank you, Gomati ma'am. It gives me a great pleasure to introduce Mr. D. Ramakrishnan, sir. He has completed his MSc in Applied Geology from University of Roorkee in the year 1990. Then he did his MS in Ocean Engineering from IIT Madras in the year 1995. He has over 12 years of industrial experience as Senior Project Geologist in Jaiprakash Associates Limited, and he also worked in Sri Sailam Tunnel Project, and Tiswa V Hydroelectric Project. Now, currently, he is working as assistant professor in Dr. MJ Educational and Research Institute for nearly over 7 years. He has been awarded as Junior Research Fellow in IIT Madras between 1991 to 1992 and got fellowship UGC in 1991, research scholar in IIT Madras during 1992 to 1995. Then he got life membership in certain associations like Indian Society of Engineering Geology, Indian Society of Rock Mechanics and Tunneling Technology, and International Association of Engineering Geology and Environment. Then his publication interest made him to publish nearly 3 papers in reputed journals and more than 7 papers he presented in national and international conferences. Thank you.
Thank you, Priya ma'am, for the wonderful introduction of Mr. D. Ramakrishna sir. And I request every student to pay some attention and put some interest towards this topic, as our HOD clearly has explained the importance of the geotechnical specialist in each and every field. So I request now Mr. D. Ramakrishna sir to take over the session. And students, if you have any questions, you can post it in the chat box and we will address those questions at the end of the session. So over to you, sir, now.
Can I get the presentation mode?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, you can.
My screen is visible?
Yes, sir.
I once again thank the organizers, Gomti ma'am, HOD sir, our beloved president sir, and honorable chairman for giving me this opportunity to make this presentation.
Ramakrishnan sir, can you make the screen as the full screen mode, sir?
Full screen தான் பண்ணிருக்கேன் தெரியலையா?
Okay, full screen பண்ணிருக்கேன். Okay.
Can you
okay,
see
sir.
the full screen now?
இல்ல சார், இது PPT full PPT screen-ஆ தெரியுது.
Okay, just one second.
Full screen
The percentage I think I have to increase.
Okay. In mobile பாக்கும்போது it may be a little smaller.
Just one second. Make it 100%. Now it is 100%, ma'am. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, good afternoon, students. So, the topic for the day is career opportunities for a geotechnical specialist. Okay. So most of you are civil engineers and some of you are geology students. So, it will be useful for all of you. Okay. So, first, let us try to understand what a geotechnical engineer or a specialist he does actually. Okay. So, a geotechnical engineer or a geotechnical specialist is basically an engineer, or he can also be an engineering geologist with a primary focus on the topography of the land and the attributes of rocks and soils in the building process. So they explain the properties and potential applications of rocks, of rock types and soils, and they look at such environmental issues as floodplains and water tables, as well as how a building or development might sustain itself against the natural order of the landscape. So this information is going to be invaluable to the construction managers, geologists, researchers, as well as the developmental industry actually. So they also work on embankments and around waterworks such as relief tunnels and floodplains. Also the direction and siting of irrigation projects for home water supplies as well as agriculture. And they also monitor drilling actually. Okay. Now the kind of questions, if you become a geotechnical engineer, which you have to ask or which you have to answer. So these are some of the questions actually. Is the bedrock firm enough to construct something of this height? What is the potential for subsidence? Is it a floodplain? If so, what improvements are to be done below the ground or for the utilities which are needed to improve the situation? Okay. So you can see here myself in action actually in one of the projects. This is actually in Srisalam tunnel project. So we were doing some design for a cavern above a tunnel actually. Okay. So you can see me in action there. So in one of the tunnel boring machines actually. Okay, now let us see what are the various components that are involved in this geotechnical engineering. The first and foremost is field exploration, which we also call it as site reconnaissance sometimes. Okay. Then the second aspect is laboratory testing. The third aspect, a report of findings and recommendations. Then the last one is future additional studies, construction observations, all these. Okay. So all of these studies have to be done related to what has been proposed, okay, in the project document. Okay, now what is it that we knew and what we did not know actually? First, that we have to understand in any problem. Okay, let it be any problem, let it be a geotechnical problem or a structural problem or any field actually. So this is the first starting point. So based on our limited knowledge of the project at the time of the study, generally we start actually. Okay, then we go to the field. Okay, then we encounter what is there in nature actually. Okay, so it may be expensive soil. Okay, so if I am a geotechnical engineer or a geotechnical specialist, so if I'm going to deal only with the geotechnical problems, I will be looking at only these aspects actually. Whether the soil is expansive, what is the depth to the bedrock, whether the soil is prone to collapse, whether the groundwater table is shallow, or what is the depth at which the water table is available. All this data actually we have to note down. Okay, or we have to carry out the inventory. Okay, now some data we have collected.
Sir,
What it means. Okay.
Ramakrishnan sir, sorry to interrupt.
சொல்லுங்க மேம்.
First slide லே தான் சார் இருக்குது. Slide is not moving.
Slide is not moving.
Yeah, yes sir. Now it is. Yes sir, now it is.
The full screen பண்ணா some issues are there.
Sir, நீங்க ரெண்டு tabல கூட வச்சுக்கலாம் sir. You can have the meet in one tab and the PPT in the other tab. Screen பாதி ஆக்கிக்கிட்டு. So that if you present one
no, you
window,
could not see the other slides.
Yes sir.
So should I start from the? You want
No
to see
sir.
other slide? Huh?
No sir. You can just show the slides so that students can understand.
Okay.
And the explanations are very clear, sir.
Okay, madam.
Okay.
Now it is visible, ma'am.
Yes sir.
So if I go to full screen mode now you can see.
Yes sir. It is the same as before.
Before, okay. So you
So
want
we
me to?
can.
Huh?
No, we can carry out like this only, sir.
This only?
It's fine. It's fine.
Okay, okay. So this we have seen this slide. Now the slide is moving, ma'am. Changing.
Sir, it is in the second slide now.
Yeah, now in the second slide.
Yes, sir.
This already we have discussed.
Yes,
This
sir.
Third slide. This also we have discussed.
Third slide is not visible, sir.
Third slide is not visible, huh?
Ah, yes, sir.
Now, ma'am.
Yes, sir. It is in the fourth slide now.
Now it is the fourth slide. You can see the slide.
Yes, sir. I can.
You are able to see it. So that means when if I go to slide view, you are not able to see. Huh? It's not moving the time. Huh?
Ah, yes, yes, sir. Maybe.
Okay. Then
This
I
should
will,
be fine.
Then
Yes, sir,
I will
this
show like this one. Huh?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please.
So this I I just showed you for your information. Okay. And these are the 4 components which are involved in any geotechnical study. Okay. So then I was telling you about how to tackle any problem. Okay. So once we understand what is the type of soil, what is the type of rock, whether the soil is prone to collapse, what is the depth of the water table, all these aspects. Now, how to translate this to the designer? Okay, so the designer is interested in foundations, okay, maybe floor slabs, retaining walls, pavements. Okay, so these are some of the requirements specifically we address. Okay, as far as geotechnical engineering is concerned. Then coming to the construction persons, how our geotechnical knowledge is going to help the construction manager. What should be the extent of dewatering? What is the earthwork that is involved in carrying out this project? Okay. And what is the surface drainage conditions that are existing in the project area, and what is its implications on the project completion as such, and then what are the maintenance that we have to do on a day-to-day basis when we become we are involved in construction. Okay, let us see how we go about briefly. Okay, the project description and site conditions. Okay, scope of study and any recommendations which are based on the assumptions which are provided by the client as well as the design team. Probably the DPR, okay, the detailed project report normally is provided to the project manager when he starts any project. So what are the how much details he has given on the geotechnical aspects in the DPR. Okay. So the next aspect is what are the changes, okay, which are often made after the DPR is made. Okay. So for example, the building location, it might have changed, number of stories, finished floor elevation, basement construction, proposed traffic, etc., etc. Okay. Sometimes even the site location, actually you may have to make it change actually. Okay. So initially, if some site is proposed, okay, or some part of a structure is proposed in a particular place, okay, and due to the site constraint, later on you decide that it is not possible to complete the project if you proceed with that same methodology, then you may have to make some change in the design itself. Okay. Now, apart from that, some owners may not have seen the site itself. Okay. So some of these aspects are there any stockpiles, any debris is there, then any trees, okay, and does the site drain well? All these aspects have to be covered in the geotechnical report. Okay, once you complete your desk study, you have to move to the field actually. Okay, you have to go and make a proper study. Okay, so this photograph actually it shows myself. Okay, so this is actually you can see a person standing with a gun actually. Okay, so this was a Naxalite area actually in Andhra Pradesh. Okay, and our tunnel was deep below this. Where we are standing, actually, we are on the alignment actually. Our tunnel was running some 200 meters below actually. So we had to take some permission from the police department and the revenue department to go to the site, and they provided us with a proper security cover so that we are not troubled by the Naxalites. Okay. I'm just emphasizing all this because job of geotechnical engineer or geotechnical specialist is not simply desk work, okay, especially when you are involved in project implementation. Okay. After you do the initial reconnaissance, you have to do the field exploration. So this may involve drilling actually. Okay, so this is a specialized aspect in itself. Okay. So those of you who develop your expertise in site exploration, so that itself can be a rewarding career for you, because there are multinational companies which are doing this field exploration, especially in the offshore and marine environment. Okay, and the salary also is quite handsome. Okay, so we can see the drilling operation for recovery of samples both in onshore as well as offshore, or in the marine environment. Okay. Okay, now once you decide you have to start your exploration, okay, so you have to prepare a map. Okay, you have to prepare a map, and in that map you have to show how many, what is your exploration program, how many boreholes you are planning to make, and how many trial pits you are going to make. Okay, what is the depth to which you want to carry out your drilling. Okay, what is the depth to which you want the samples to be recovered. Okay, and this is going to vary depending upon the structure. Okay, about this already we have discussed this in detail in our course in soil mechanics and foundation engineering, so I'm not going to repeat anything. So this sort of drawing you are supposed to prepare it. Okay, so precisely showing what are the locations of the boreholes. You should have both northing and easting carefully marked in the map. Okay, so if this drawing the engineer is supposed to prepare. Okay, either he does it himself or a consultant is employed, that is something else. Okay, so once you have the drawing, so you can start your field exploration. Okay, so there are various aspects of various types of field sampling. It may be augering, okay, or it may be a split spoon sampler. Okay, so it may involve standard penetration test, or in case of rock, you may have to do core drilling and take the sample. Okay, and apart from that, of course, there are more advanced methods also. Okay, so the more advanced methods, briefly, I am just mentioning. So only where it is required, you will be doing it. You are not going to do all this in all the projects. It could be a pressure meter test, it could be seismic refraction, or it could be cross-hole seismic survey for mapping of the borehole or drill hole, thermal conductivity study, dilatometer test, ground penetrometer test, vein shear test, okay, ground penetrating radar. Okay, so these are all slightly advanced methods. Okay, only where the requirement is there, you are going to do that. Okay. Okay, now we have done all this. So what we want to do? So we want to characterize the subsurface. Okay, that is our aim. Okay, so this could be a description of the subsurface soil, bedrock, groundwater conditions encountered at the time of exploration, or this may also include assessment of the geological hazards. Okay. Okay, once you are going to complete your boring program, so you have to prepare a log like this. This is actually called as a borehole log. So this forms the record for the site exploration what you have done. Okay. So you can see the depth-wise, all the data will be recorded. Okay. In the left-hand side, the depth is going to be mentioned, or it could be mentioned even here actually. The depth. Actually. Okay. So supposing till 30-meter depth, okay, you have drilled. Okay. So all the parameters that you have encountered in the field, that will be recorded. Actually. So in addition, some of the samples you may have to send them to the soil lab for testing, for determining the index properties. Actually. So that data also you have to incorporate in this geological log. Ultimately, it is this log which is going to be sent to the design engineer. Okay, so this document itself is going to be self-contained. Okay, now lab testing I told. What are the various lab tests? I think most of you know it. Okay, we have discussed this in our lab course in soil mechanics. Some of the common soil tests, this include the in situ moisture content, dry density, then soil classification as per Indian standards. Okay, then the expansion potential of the soil, then the consolidation, then the CBR value as far as pavement is concerned, then the sulfate content for cement, okay, then pH and resistivity, then the engineering properties. Okay. All these properties have to be determined from the lab test. Okay, once you have all this data, you're going to make some recommendations to the design engineer. Okay, so the recommendations that you're going to make may include some of these aspects. Okay, so this is one of the very important components of the report that provides the design parameters and construction recommendations. Okay, so the considerations, geotechnical considerations include okay, a overview of the subsurface conditions that will impact the project. Okay, which may include expansive soils, existing fill materials, shallow groundwater, and soft soils. Okay. Now coming to the foundation engineering aspects. Okay. So this I think I don't have to again repeat actually. Okay. So you know that for foundation design, the basic engineering property that you require is the shear strength of the soil. Okay. So that you should have determined from the lab test. Okay. So either you do your direct shear test or you do your triaxial test. Okay. Or in some cases you may have to do the test in situ itself. Okay. Depending on the geostrata, whether it is soil or rock. Okay. So if it is rock means you may have to do the test in the site itself. Okay. So based on the conditions of the geomaterial, we are going to propose what should be the depth of the foundation, okay, and the what is the settlement and what could be the anticipated structural loads for safety of the foundation as well as the structure. Okay. Now the other aspects which are involved in our foundation engineering. Okay, so this may include drill piers or helical piles. Okay, or in fact we also call the drill piers as caissons section. Okay, so where heavy loads are involved. Okay, so this may sometimes come on expansive clays. Okay, so this should resist axial loads, lateral loads, and uplift by socketing into bedrock. Okay, the socket must be below the anticipated level of wetting. Okay. Then you may also have split footings, or you can have a slab or mat actually, or you can also have a raft foundation. Okay, so that generally the loads are light. Okay, so non to low expansive materials. Okay, alternative with over excavation of expansive soils usually requires additional evaluation. The next problem what the geotechnical engineer often does is lateral earth pressures. Okay, especially the retaining walls. Okay, so for a retaining wall, what is the lateral earth pressure that is going to come on the retaining wall? Okay, so that should come from the geotechnical engineer. Okay, so it could be a cast in place concrete retaining wall. Okay, it could be for placement. Okay, so whatever. So for all this, the input has to come from the geotechnical engineer on what is the lateral earth pressure and what should be the factor of safety. Okay. Then you may also have this special wall projects. Okay, could be a mechanically stabilized earth wall. Okay, could be even so there are various types of retaining walls. Okay, or it could also be a wall for it could be even a gabion wall actually. Okay, the gabion wall sometimes it could be temporary. Okay, so this retaining walls it could be filled with granular backfill. Okay, anyway the backfill recommendation has to be provided. Then the next aspect geotechnical engineer deals with is the pavements actually. Okay, so the pavement sections they are based on both traffic as well as on the soil conditions. Okay, the traffic is generally not known at the earlier stage, so the assumptions have to be made and then it has to be confirmed. Okay, for this generally we make use of what is called as the AASHTO classification of soils. Okay, the American standard. Okay. As far as the payments are concerned, these are some of the aspects which we have to study and we have to deal with. The fill mitigation, okay, then over excavation, then removal and replacement, okay, and whether any treatment is required with lime or fly ash or cement. Then surface drainage also plays a major part in your pavement design. Okay, so that may govern your separate performance. Okay, so what should be the type of drain that you have to provide? Okay, so this also you have to deal with in your report. Okay. Now the other aspect is the earthwork. Okay, so this may involve stripping, separate preparation, dewatering, fill materials, moisture, compaction. Okay, and shrink and swell estimates. Okay, so if it is soil, so whatever I have given, but if it is rock, means the problem is going to be much more difficult. You have to first decide what equipment you want to use for doing all these operations. Okay, if it is a surface work and if it is a subsurface work, means you may have to go for the various excavation methods. Okay, depending on whether your area is going to fall within the municipal limits or it will fall in forest area. No issue of doing any blasting. Okay, it all depends on the environmental factors. Okay. So for all these earthwork recommendations, you have to do the observation and testing of the engineered fill and structural fill for both for long-term performance. Okay. So the breakdown and processing of materials is a key to achieve proper compaction and swell mitigation. Okay. Then higher moisture contents are required in expansive place to reduce the swell and settlement. Okay. And higher compaction effort may be needed to limit the settlement as well as the deep fill zones. Okay. These are some more recommendations for the earthwork. Okay. Which I'm not really going to get into the details. Okay. Now, additional recommendations apart from whatever we have covered, the seismic site classification. This also is required. Okay. Then the underground utilities. Okay. The design, construction, groundwater, flexibility, corrosion, cement type, and as well as the exterior flat work, separate preparation and swell mitigation. So the report, what you're going to prepare and submit to the design engineer or the design team. Okay. So this will obviously depend on the surface drainage. The slope grades away from the buildings and onto the pavements may require trenches, area drains, landscaping accommodations for areas near the buildings, infrastructure, and recommendation for discharge of some of these down spouts. This is actually nothing but a drain pipe actually. You want to channelize the water away from the building to safeguard the structure. And availability for geotechnical review and observation of the finished product. Okay. Then at the end of the report, you are going to attach all this data, the boring location map, okay, the logs of boring, and laboratory test results and summary, and the terminology what you have used in the report, okay, and other calculations for traffic as well as payment. Okay. Then the other aspect which is involved is the construction observation and material testing. Okay. So this also becomes important for proper documentation. Okay. So that whatever recommendations are made by the geotechnical specialist is implemented in the construction. Okay. Because basically the borough material what a structural engineer also is going to use is going to come only from the geotechnical investigation report. Okay. Structural engineer cannot decide on his own. So this provides a high level of quality assurance for the owners as well as the buyers, and it does not replace the contractor's quality control. Then so you completed then the quality control testing of the foundation. Okay, so there are various methods of doing testing. Okay, so if you've gone for a pile foundation, so you may do the pile dynamic analysis. Okay, then there are also other methods like this Osterberg load cell testing. Okay, then sonic logging. Okay, then the dynamic load test. Okay, then you can also have the other uh, geotechnical instrumentation for monitoring the safety on the safety of the structure and as well as the serviceability of the structure. Okay, for which you may be utilizing a inclinometer, a settlement device, or a pore pressure device. These are only it's not exhaustive list. Okay, so only some three equipments I have mentioned. Definitely, it is going to be much more than this. Okay, so so some of the other aspects which are there in your geotechnical field, okay, so it could be soil nailing, the soil rock anchors, mini piles, okay, secant walls and tangent walls, ground improvement as such, okay, it comes under the domain of geotechnical engineering. Then cast in place displacement piles, okay, then drilled shaft section, okay, then lightweight fill. So thanks for listening. So once again, I thank the organizers, our beloved president and HOD and Gomti ma'am for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ramakrishnan sir, for the wonderful presentation. Any students, any doubts, you can interact with Ramakrishnan sir for your clarifications. Any doubts, students? Okay. If there is any doubt, please write to us so that we can discuss with sir and we can discuss it in the class also. So there is a flexibility of discussing your doubts in the class as well. Okay. So thank you so much for your presentation, sir. Shall we move on to the vote of thanks, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay, sir. May I now call upon Hema Malini madam to give away the thanks note.
Hello, ma'am. Is it audible?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, it is.
Good afternoon, everyone. Myself, Hema Malini, working as Assistant Professor of Civil Engineering Department from Dr. MJR Educational Research Institute. No duty is more urgent than that of returning thanks. It's my privilege to propose the vote of thanks on this occasion on behalf of Department of Civil Engineering, Dr. MJR Educational Research Institute, Madurai. I extend my sincere vote of thanks to you all gathered here for this webinar. Let me first of all start by giving in glory to the Almighty God for making today's event a resounding success. First and foremost, I thank our Honorable Chairman Thiru A.C. Shanmugam and President Engineer A.C. Arun Kumar for giving us the permission to conduct this meet. We are extremely thankful to our Dean Student Affairs Dr. G. Felix Kala for her gracious support and encouragement. We are very thankful to our Head of the Department, Dr. S. Arivalagan, and Deputy Head, Dr. T. Kavita, for the kind support and valuable guidance. I wholeheartedly thank all of our teaching staffs for their valuable support. Last but not the least, I thank all the students and participants for your cooperation in making this webinar a grand success. Thank you once again.
Thank you, Hema ma'am. Students, for your information, this session on skill development program for the students will end up as the 5-day session tomorrow. So tomorrow session will be handled by Dr. A. Arivu Mangai, madam, on the topic career opportunities as structural engineer. So madam will be elaborating all the details you may need. So come tomorrow, assemble at 2 o'clock, and we will be sending the Google Meet link. And tomorrow the attendance link will be posted, and you will be receiving a certificate for all these 5 days. So make a note of that, and please be present yourself on time and make utilize of this opportunity. So I once again thank each and every one, Ramakrishnan sir, for giving us a very good lecture today. And I thank each and every one for your gracious presence. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Kindly fill the Google form for today's attendance and then leave the meet. So thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.